Henry, do you not realize you were fired? Yet you still have the nerve to come to work today? There was a reason you were fired. You're incompetent. I couldn't trust you with anything. Oh, you do know what incompetent means, right? Mr. Davis, I'm terribly sorry about that. I needed to leave the handover documents on your desk, but things were running late yesterday. With the amount of information, it took a bit longer than I expected to put everything together. So again, I apologize that I had to come in today to deliver that. Were you able to check that all the documents were in order? Yeah, I saw them. I put them straight in the shredder too. What? Are you serious? Do you really think I can trust you to make anything legible? You're so incompetent that the best I can hope for is a 4th grade level explanation. But this time it was even worse than that. Like, did you actually expect us to use your documents that you prepared? If you can call that preparing. Believe me, I did myself a favor by throwing what you submitted into the dustbin. We'll have to do everything over now. But how are you going to take over for me this month if you have no idea what's going on? Those documents detailed everything, right up to the last week I was working at this company. All the names of my customers, contact information. Why would you dispose of important information like that? Oh, so now you think you can just tell me what to do, huh? Like I said, I'm not going to refer to your sketchy information. You've really got some balls talking all big and saying I made a mistake. Don't worry about me interacting with your customers. I'm gonna do a far better job with them than you. I can tell already. And I'm better off going about and building new relationships with all the clients. It's not like they liked you anyway, huh? Oh, is that so? Yeah, and what about the apology email? If you really had so much time to come to the office today, the least you could have done is write that. Apology email? And what exactly would that be for? An important client called me out for mistakes on documents that you were supposed to check. Don't tell me you forgot about those. Remember our deal with eNet Corp? There were mistakes all over those reports that they noticed, and now we're in deep. Hold on, weren't those supposed to be your reports? You were the one responsible for everything related to eNet Corp, if I recall. You really don't get it, do you? You were working as my subordinate, and as someone who works under me, your job was to check my work as well as yours. You were unable to do that, and the customer called me out for it. Come on, Henry, can't you see I took the blame for you here? If you had just checked the report, we wouldn't be in this mess. Mr. Davis, in all honesty, I just can't agree with you here. You're saying that a junior employee is responsible for checking his superior's work for mistakes? Maybe I'm missing something, but the last I heard was that the superior is usually the one checking the subordinate's work. Isn't that commonplace, Mr. Davis? You need to watch how you're talking to your superior, Henry. I'm the one who makes the decisions of what exactly my workers are responsible for. Yo, maybe you thought that all subordinates just decided their own tasks. Can you imagine that? An office run by incompetents like yourself? Ha! I'm already going to be leaving this company, so just let me say my piece. I'm sure you would allow me to do that, at least. I believe that you have no right to place responsibility on me for mistakes that happen based on your work. I was never told to check documents related to that customer, and now you're suddenly blaming me for it? Like, seriously, man? Hey, you cannot talk to your superior like that. Frankly, I'm getting tired of having to explain every little rule and intricacy of this position. These are all things you should know, but apparently you're too incompetent to realize your role in all of this. But now it's too late. Too bad, so sad. I held back from saying this for all the time I've worked at this company, but now that I'm leaving, I can finally speak honestly. You cannot be blaming whoever works under you for errors in your work. You are the manager here. You need to take responsibility for yourself. It's ridiculous putting the blame on a younger, less experienced worker. Honestly, I feel terrible for whoever is going to be working under you next. That's why I want to tell you that your management style is a joke. Just because I fired you, it doesn't mean I have to listen to you blabber on and on with excuses. And whoever the next person is that I have to manage, as long as they're more incompetent than you, I'll be in good shape. And the only one you should be feeling sorry for is me. I had to deal with your lazy butt this whole time. Thank God you're finally out of here. What I'm saying is the truth, Mr. Davis. If you really think about it, you blame your subordinates for everything that goes wrong at this company. Whether it's your own errors on your own documents or annoying office jobs and paperwork, you throw it all to the person who works under you. Oh, and what about the fudging of company expenses? You've been writing off everything, haven't you? Our company expenses are settled by myself and the other managers fair and square. Do you know you could get into big legal trouble for accusing a business of fudging expenses? That's a big claim to make from such a little man like you. I have written proof, Mr. Davis. It's all in the expense reports. Your weekly drinks with the other managers, putting up your family in hotels when they're in town, going to strip clubs with customers. All of that is written off as company expenses, isn't it? That's probably why that area of the budget is always in the red. Can't say I know anything about that. Besides, what's the problem with having meetings out of the office after work? We even invited you to a couple of those meetings. Can't you remember, Henry? You call that a meeting? We just kept ordering pitchers of beer and back-talking upper management. How is that productive in any way? And legality states that company expenses can be used for office gatherings, but what you used it for was far different. You and Mr. Eckhart went to Big Bob's to Korea 17 times in 1 month. 17 times? And all on the company's dime? Let me tell you a little something, Henry. When you're manager, you need to do certain things for the company to succeed. You need to keep clients happy, keep employee morale high, keep sales up, etc. There's clear reasons to all of these things, which you clearly don't get. Well, it seems like you clearly aren't taking the responsibility for this either. Not that I'm surprised at all. I even saw some gifts for customers being written on the expense report, when it was clearly things that you bought for yourself. Potato chips, bottles of soda. Do those sound much like gifts for customers? I'd like to hear how you explain that. Well, I did buy those with the idea of giving them to customers, but just never ended up doing so. I've got clients who love that kind of stuff. I just wasn't able to make it to them in time, so I ate them myself. Another perk of being a manager, I guess. But you didn't bother to correct the expense report. Don't you realize you could get into real trouble for this kind of stuff? God, I'm getting tired of hearing all your false accusations. Everything is within the rules, Henry. Being a low-ranking employee like you wouldn't know what it really takes to run a company, which is why you're getting fired. I'm gonna say it once more, Mr. Davis. Do you realize that these things could seriously compromise your business moving forward? Do you realize that discussing business over enchiladas with my close work colleague is considered legal grounds for a meeting in almost any company? Stop before you embarrass yourself, son. By the way, any luck on finding your next job? It shouldn't be hard for such a shining example of an employee like yourself. Well, I'll make that all then. As for my next position, I'll be fine. Things will fall into place. I plan to work at this company for longer, so it's too bad it didn't work out. Honestly, I had real pride in serving my customers here, and I believed in the product. I guess it just wasn't meant to be. You had real pride, huh? In that case, why didn't you actually try to do a good job? All I heard from your customers were bad reviews. That's not true at all. I built relationships with all of my clients one by one. I was able to deliver them excellent service, and I stand by that. And all of those contact details were listed in the handover materials that I prepared. However, you deemed those as unacceptable. I believe that incompetent was the word that I used. I'll make by just fine without that garbage that you prepared, alright? Aren't you fired? Why are you still coming to the office, Henry? Just leave here and don't contact me again. I don't need your information or anything. Just leave. What the hell did you say to them? I'm serious. If I hear that you've divulged company information to any of our clients, you're gonna be in big legal trouble. Oh, Mr. Davis, I didn't think I'd be hearing from you again after the last time. Is there something you wanted to discuss with me? There certainly is. I just went to meet with one of your previous clients, Mr. Eldridge. Oh, yes, Hank. How's he doing? Not well, apparently. After he heard that you had left the company, he canceled his contract with us. You must have made some kind of side arrangement with him or something, didn't you? Side agreement? Maybe he just appreciated the service I gave him during my time there and was disappointed that I was gone? I guess we did build up quite a good relationship, me and Hank. No, that can't be it. You must have done something. Come on, spit it out, Henry. I insist. I really only did my job the best that I possibly could. If you're really suspicious of anything, all of the meeting notes are in the handover report that I left you. Oh, yeah, you disposed of that, didn't you? Tell me, was it something I said? What made him cancel the contract? There was one thing. I'm pretty sure that Mr. Eldridge wasn't a big fan of you, sir. Are you saying that he didn't like me? And for what reason would that be? I think it might have been the way you're always blaming your mistakes on younger employees. Clients see that, Mr. Davis. It's not just something that you and the employees themselves notice. And how would clients find out about that, Henry? You must have been the one to tell them, right? That's company information. I'd never. I'm smart enough not to do something like that. Then how did this happen? Well, you know how you would call me when you noticed a mistake? You'd always be yelling right into the phone. Customers can hear that. You're supposed to make those kind of calls on the low, Henry. What were you thinking doing that in front of your boss? I did try to hide the fact that my boss was calling me out over the phone, but they noticed nonetheless. I guess they just sensed that something was off between me and my boss when they heard the way we talked on the phone. They weren't wrong. And they all knew that it was you who was my boss. That's no secret. That's why you don't let on about any of this stuff. Don't you know that's just common sense in a company? You shouldn't let clients sense that anything's off. Frankly, I tried, sir. It's just my clients knew how hard I worked and really couldn't see where I was going wrong. So, I guess they just figured that it was you after all. I can't imagine how you became so buddy-buddy with these customers that it made me look like some kind of bad guy. Like, you do realize they are customers, right? They're not your friends as much as you might think. The only reason the customers got such a negative image of me must have been because of the way you were talking about me. What did you tell them, Henry? I didn't tell them anything. They could see it in plain sight. Me having to apologize for mistakes that were clearly on you? The look on my face after getting off the phone with you. They could just tell. Nah, I ain't buying that. You definitely said something you didn't need to. I bet you were just bad-mouthing me the whole time you met with them. Listen, I did go to greet them one last time and told them that I had been fired from the company. I also mentioned that my boss, you, would be taking over for me. Then I mentioned the handover documents and that all further business would be handled by you. That's it. Idiot! You were supposed to give me information about each client verbally, in person. You can't just write all that confidential information in some report. God, that must have been it. Because of your stupid decision not to fill me in on all of the client's preferences and whatnot, I didn't know how to approach them. This could have been avoided. What are you talking about? I'm really certain that I'm not the one acting idiotic in this situation. I wrote information about each client in detail and made every point clear so that you wouldn't have to spend hours and hours going over it. Why in the world wouldn't you look at that? Enough! It's too late. You set this up so that the client hated me, for whatever reason, and that led to our company losing a valued customer. So, how are you gonna make up for this? I'm afraid it's out of my hands now. Well, I guess I could just tell you. Huh? Tell me what? I guess Mr. Eldridge might have gotten a bad impression of you when I told him everything that happened. I think the way I put it was, I was fired by my terrible boss, and he's the one that's going to be taking over my position. What did you say to him? You actually said that, like, in those words? Well, I may have made it a bit more colorful in the way I described it, but I was telling the truth. Never listening to what other employees have to say, spending company funds on your own private expenses, throwing responsibility on those under you. You're the definition of a terrible boss. What? Oh, and I might have mentioned that they may want to think about canceling their contract to avoid having to deal with an idiot like you. They also didn't appreciate the way I was laid off, with no prior notice. I can't believe this. You must have bribed them or something. Why would they just believe everything a lower-ranked employee like you has to say? Nah, unlike you, I don't take part in shady business money exchanges. The reason they believed me was, like I said, I built trust with them. I followed up whenever there was a problem, and tried to work towards solutions together. They appreciated that hard work. You're saying just by doing that you won them over? There must be something you're not letting on. You could learn from them. I'm sure if you asked them why they appreciated my service, they would give you some pointers too. Me? Learn from what you were doing? You really are nuts, aren't you? A little favoritism from customers and suddenly you're some kind of people-pleasing customer expert? Newsflash, buddy, you're jobless. Oh, about that. Just before this, I got quite an interesting call from our area manager. Mr. Harold? Yeah, he actually said that he was surprised that I had been fired. Also, on the notice that he received, it said that the reason I left the company was due to me quitting myself and not being fired. But I affirmed with him that that wasn't the case in the least, and that I would be happy to discuss a possible return to the company. Huh? A return to the company? Yes, and it looks like I'll be able to take a more important post there as well. What? How is that possible? I fired you! I wouldn't act so surprised just yet. He also told me that you'll be getting demoted. Demoted? Are you kidding me? It seems Mr. Harold got in touch with some of the customers and heard some unfavorable reviews of the job you were doing. Not to mention, a lot of customers were livid when they heard that my job was being taken over by you. So, you're taking over my job then? What the hell is going on? Not so fast. I also took the liberty of telling Mr. Harold about the expense reports that I'd gone through. Needless to say, he was less than pleased. Outraged, even. Oh my god. Why did you have to go and do all that? How could you be so stupid? Oh, I'm getting a call from the head office right now. That must be Mr. Harold. Well, him or one of the other higher-ups. You might want to answer that. Listen, Henry, do me a solid here, man. Just tell him everything was a lie and I'll let you off the hook for everything. Come on, I'll even throw in some extras. You like sports. I've got tickets to any team you like. Good one. Well, Mr. Davis, I think you learned a valuable lesson through this whole debacle. You might want to look in the mirror before you label someone else as incompetent. That person just might become your boss. Following that, Mr. Davis was contacted by the company and grilled on the shady business expenses that he had been racking up. With receipts as proof to show that he'd really been using company funds for personal expenses, he was promptly fired from his role as manager. The company had no choice but to take Mr. Davis to court. There, he was charged with unlawful use of company expenses and forced to pay back every cent of what he had spent. Henry, on the other hand, was able to take on a higher-up post in the same company that he had been unjustly fired from. There, he was able to contact and get back the customers that had been lost, leading to high praise from his new boss, Mr. Harold. I guess Henry wasn't so incompetent after all. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment. Bye.
Melody, honey, did you already have dinner?
Yeah, I had mac and cheese, Mom. What about you? Did you eat dinner?
Oh, that sounds yummy. Yeah, I just finished eating dinner too. I ate spaghetti.
Oh, that sounds yummy too, Mom. I miss eating the food that you cook, Mommy.
I know you do, honey. I promise I'll cook some more for you soon, okay?
Okay. Guess what? I took a bath all by myself today.
No way, really? That's amazing, Melody. I can't believe you did it all by yourself. Although you're still only 10 years old, so I wouldn't mind it if someone was there to look after you, you know? But still, you're growing up to be such a big girl now. I'm so proud of you.
I'm going to be a big sister soon, so I have to know how to take baths all by myself. I'm going to teach the baby new things too.
Look at you. I'm so proud of you. You're going to be the best big sister ever. Hey, when Mommy comes back home, do you want to have a bath together, or do you want to have one all by yourself now?
Mom, I'm not a baby anymore. I can take one by myself now.
Aw, you're making me sad. I miss taking baths with you. Just this one time. For Mommy, please.
Okay, but it will be the last, Mommy. You're already 30 years old, but you still act like a little kid. You're so silly.
And you're only 10 years old, but you're like a grown-up lady already. And you're going to be the best big sister in the world.
Hey, Mom. Is the baby going to be a girl or a boy? You didn't tell me yet. I really want to know.
It's a surprise, honey. You have to wait until the baby is born to find out, okay?
That's no fair.
By the way, did Dad tell you that you two are coming to visit me this weekend?
Really? Are we going to see you, Mommy?
I don't get to see you anymore because I'm living with Grandma and Grandpa, but I miss you both so much. I wish you both would come to visit me more often.
Yeah, I miss you too, Mom. How long are you staying there for?
Well, it's going to be a really long time, honey. I wish I didn't have to stay here for so long because I miss you so much.
I want to see you too, Mom. I'm going to tell Dad I miss you so we can go visit you, so don't worry, Mommy.
Oh, will you? Will you really do that for Mommy?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, honey. By the way, are you being a good girl and listening to everything Daddy says?
Yeah, all the time, Mom.
Good. And is Daddy coming home early like he's supposed to?
Well, sometimes he comes home early and sometimes he's a little bit late, I guess.
Really? Well, if you ever get lonely, remember that you can always call me, okay?
Okay, but when Dad comes home late from work, I can watch YouTube.
Oh, I see. So it sounds like you prefer it when he comes home late.
I love YouTube though, Mom, so it's so funny and it makes me laugh all the time.
All right, well, just make sure you lock up all the doors until he gets home, okay?
Yeah, Mom.
How about tonight? Is he already home?
Not yet, Mom. He's late again.
Oh, no. Well, if Daddy isn't at home yet, how did you eat dinner earlier? You know, your mac and cheese?
I made the mac and cheese by myself. It's the one you can just put in the microwave. It's easy, Mom. I press the start button, and then I wait for 3 minutes, and then I wear the oven gloves and open the door and take it out and eat it.
Oh, I see. I'll talk to Daddy and I'll tell him he needs to come home earlier for you, okay?
Okay, Mommy. I want to go watch TV now.
Okay. Is it the Telly Buddies? Well, try not to watch too much TV, okay?
Yes, Mommy.
Hey, Eric, what happened?
What happened with what?
I thought you were supposed to come and visit me this weekend. Melody just told me that you're not coming here anymore.
Something came up at work. Sorry about that.
Well, why didn't you tell me earlier?
I thought I did. I texted you, didn't I? What else was I supposed to do? I had to rush to the office.
Okay, but I was really looking forward to seeing you and Melody today. My parents were looking forward to it too. My mom even said that she was happy to go over there to pick her up. You could have let her do that.
It was really short notice, so I didn't even have time to plan anything out. But anyways, sorry about that, okay? How are you doing anyway? Your due date is soon, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, but I still want to see you and Melody. I miss you guys a lot.
You don't have to worry about a thing. We're doing just great over here. When you have the baby, you'll come home and everything will be fine.
Well, I was talking to Melody the other day and she sounded like she was kind of lonely. Didn't you promise me that you won't work overtime until I got back home from my parents' house? Don't you think you've been leaving her at home by herself too much?
It's not that much. It's just a couple times a week, if anything. Besides, she's a big girl. She knows how to take care of herself.
I only went back home to my parents because you promised you would be back home early from work every day. Melody's still just 10 years old. It's bad enough that you leave her at home during the day, but I'd really like it if you would be at home with her at least at night. If you absolutely have to stay late at work, you can ask your mom to stay with her until you get back.
Look, everything's all right. Trust me, okay? You're worrying too much, Amy.
Of course I'd worry. I'm about to have my second child, so I'd appreciate it if you took better care of Melody.
She's doing her best to take care of herself because she wants to be a good big sister. I'm still watching over her, but she doesn't even want me to pick out her clothes anymore. She keeps saying that she has to grow up more before the baby comes. So why don't we just let her be, yeah? Besides, if she learns to be more independent, isn't that easier for you? You remember how difficult it is to take care of a newborn, don't you? You know it's a fact that you probably won't be able to give Melody as much attention as before.
I suppose. I still want her to take her time to grow up, though. I don't want her to grow up too fast, you know?
Amy, I understand what you mean, but you don't need to stress yourself, all right? Stress isn't good for the baby, is it? Just relax and let everything take its own course.
Are you sure you're not leaving her to eat mac and cheese every day or anything, are you? I know that there's not much you can do about work getting busy, but just think about Melody a little bit more, okay? That's all I'm asking.
Okay, you have a point. I'll make sure I cook proper meals for her, okay? Okay, listen, I need to answer this call from work. I'll talk to you later, okay? Love you.
Love you too. I'm counting on you to take care of Melody, okay? Melody, it's Mommy. I'm really sorry I didn't answer your calls. My tummy started hurting and I had to go to the hospital. I'll be going to Grandpa and Grandma's house soon, so I'll call you later, okay?
Your tummy hurts? Are you okay, Mommy?
Everything's fine, honey. I just have to rest for a little bit, that's all.
Okay, that's good.
So what did you want to talk about? You already had dinner and you had your bath, right?
No, Mommy, I'm hungry.
What?
I made mac and cheese again, but it was too hot when I took it out the microwave and I accidentally dropped it. I'm hungry.
You're going to eat mac and cheese again? Where's Daddy? Is he at home?
No, he's not here. He's still at work.
Okay, well listen, there should be more microwavable food in the pantry. It's on the bottom shelf. Go there and tell me what you see.
Mommy, I know about those, but I already ate them.
All of them? Melody, there were plenty for like 2 weeks.
It's empty, Mommy. There's nothing on that shelf.
Oh my god. Okay, well, how about a cup of instant noodles in the kitchen cupboard? You know, the one under where the knives and forks are? Go and check to see if that's there and you can have that. You know how to boil the kettle, right?
Sorry, Mommy. I ate that too.
OMG, what? Melody, have you been eating nothing but microwave food and instant noodles all this time? Hasn't Daddy cooked for you?
He does sometimes.
Honey, even if Daddy didn't cook for you, I made sure that I bought enough food before I left. I don't understand. Melody, honey, be honest with Mommy, okay? What's going on there?
I'm sorry, Mommy. I lied.
Huh? About what? What's wrong?
The truth is that Daddy's never at home. He always comes home really late, and there are some days where he doesn't even come home at all. He only comes home when it's time for us to call you on FaceTime, but then he leaves right after that.
Melody! Oh my god, is that true? So have you been at home by yourself this entire time?
Yeah. Daddy says it's better if I learn how to do things by myself because I'm gonna be a big sister. I pinky promised him that I wouldn't tell you because he didn't want you to worry about me. He said you were having a bad time with the new baby.
Really? Oh my God. Melody, you don't deserve this. You've been such a good girl and Mommy didn't know.
But Daddy hasn't come back home since the day before yesterday. He gave me $10, but I already used all of it at the corner store.
For 2 days? And you went to the store all by yourself? What if you get... Never mind. That is not acceptable. Mommy is very angry with Daddy. Melody, you did a great job, okay? But no more going to the stores. Mommy will sort this out.
I haven't eaten anything since last night. I'm sorry. I wasted the money. I used it to buy candy and toys, but I didn't buy any food.
Melody, you don't have to be sorry about anything, okay? You didn't do anything wrong, baby. How about this? Do you want to come and live with me for a bit? With Grandma and Grandpa, too?
Really? I have school tomorrow, though.
It'll be fine. I miss you so much, and Grandma's going to make a lot of yummy food. I can't wait to see you, baby. Grandpa is on his way to pick you up, okay? I'll let you know when he's close by, so open the door when I say it's okay, okay? But keep the door locked until Mommy says you can open it, okay?
Okay, Mommy. I can't wait to see you again.
You'll be staying with us for a little bit, so you can pack a bag with you, PJs and some clothes. Don't forget your toothbrush and your homework, okay? Can you do that for Mommy?
Yeah, I can do that. I'll go and pack now into my unicorn backpack, Mom.
That's my girl. Tell you what, we'll order a pizza for when you get here. How does that sound?
Yay! I can't wait!
Sorry, I was sleeping. I didn't mean to miss your calls. Is everything okay? How are you feeling?
You were asleep? At home?
Yes, of course. Where else? You kept yelling at me about it, so I've been coming home earlier like you told me to.
Oh, okay. What about Melody? How is she?
She's already in bed. You should know what time she goes to bed, right? I make sure I tuck her in bed early so that she can get plenty of sleep.
Sure. Are you being honest with me, Eric?
You worry too much, Amy. I'm telling you everything is fine here. I'll take Melody with me when we visit you on your due date. That's in a couple of days, right?
That's funny because Melody is here with me right now.
Huh? Melody's with you? Oh, what do you mean? What's going on?
My dad went and picked her up 3 hours ago, and he said nobody was home but Melody.
What? Why?
I'm the one that should be asking the questions here. Where have you been staying all this time? Where are you right now?
Oh man, listen, Amy. Work has just been so busy. I haven't been at home as much as I should be, and I didn't tell you because I figured you'd get mad at me again if you knew.
So what? So you lied to me? So you left our 10-year-old kid all by herself at home? Are you friggin' kidding me? Eric, you have a lot of explaining to do. Go on, explain yourself.
Wait, but what about school? She has school in the morning.
Never mind that for now. You need to tell me why you left our child at home alone and unfed.
What?
Melody told me everything. She said you haven't been home since the day before yesterday. Is that correct?
Oh, right, yeah. Look, I was called in for work, you know?
At the weekend? You don't work on the weekends.
They had an emergency and needed me to come in. I can't control the things that happen at work.
You never worked on weekends, though, ever. What's with the sudden change?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was so confused when they called me in. I didn't have a choice, though. One of our best co-workers just quit.
Uh-huh. Well, if it's work, then why are you at a beach resort? I'd love to hear what business an IT company would have there.
A beach resort? What are you talking about?
I got a notice that says you paid toll on the highway. What's that all about? You've been using the car, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I need to use the car for work. I just had a business trip and I had to go past the tolls for it.
Okay, If that's true, then I'd suppose that you wouldn't have a problem with me calling your office to confirm that there was a business trip. No objections, right? I can ask them that first thing tomorrow.
Wait, no, don't do that. Please.
Why not?
You don't need to make such a big deal out of this. It's not that serious, is it? You don't want to bother people at my work with our family issues, right? Let's not get them involved.
What? You gave your 10-year-old daughter $10 and left her alone in the house for days? That's pretty serious in my books. Don't screw with me, Eric.
Amy, I am so sorry about that. It won't happen again.
So, who did you go with? Don't try and tell me you went to a beach resort by yourself, because I won't buy it for a second.
But I did go by myself. I needed to clear my mind for a bit, so I booked a little weekend getaway for myself. What is wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? Are you crazy? Who did you go with?
It was just me, I swear.
Well, I can just check our bank statements and clear that up myself then.
No.
No what?
Amy, okay, fine. I went with my friend. I went with Max. You know Max, right? We just went on a boys' trip.
Well, if that were true, then you should have just said that in the first place. And yes, I do know Max. Maybe I'll give him a call and he can tell me about your little boys' trip together then.
Amy, why do you have to do this? It's not necessary, okay?
Then you better be ready for the consequences.
What consequences? Look, okay, fine. I'll tell you the truth, the whole truth. Just promise you won't freak out, okay?
Go on then, let's hear it.
I met a girl on this dating app, okay?
I see. And what?
And you know, I'm sorry, okay?
Well, that settles it then.
Okay, how?
We're getting divorced.
Wait, no, come on. Aren't you being a little bit harsh here? You can't just break up with me like that. I was just having a bit of fun. I needed a break.
You needed a break? Were you the one who was carrying a whole human being inside of you and you're telling me that you need a break?
Well, I mean, she just said she wanted a friend to go with her to the resort, so I volunteered. That's all. A quick, short vacation.
And you think you're the one who needs a vacation. Leaving a kid at home? This isn't something out of a Home Alone movie, you know. This is real.
I know. I see that now.
What the heck is wrong with you, Eric? Seriously, what the hell do you think you're doing to our daughter? Look, I don't care about the cheating anymore. You cheat all you want, but leaving Melody to starve like that is child neglect and child abuse.
That's not true. I gave her money to buy food.
You thought she would be able to survive for 3 whole days on $10? That would mean you expected her to use $1 per meal. And what if she got kidnapped on the way to the corner store? We're lucky she didn't. But if she did, then that would have been all on you.
Well, good thing she wasn't, okay?
Melody didn't even know that you'd be gone for 3 days. She didn't even know what to get herself. That was your job, to feed her properly.
But there were, microwave meals and stuff in the house, right?
She told me she ate those whenever you'd come home late from work. They're all gone. You didn't even think about that, though, did you? You figured that since I bought a ton of groceries before I left for my parents' house, everything would be fine. But you forgot that the groceries would eventually run out, didn't you? How stupid can you be?
I'm sorry.
Apologizing won't do or change anything. It's too late for that. I want a divorce.
Wait, no. That's going too far. We can't get a divorce. I wasn't in a serious relationship with that girl anyways.
Like I said, the cheating isn't the problem here. I'm angry at how you treated Melody. You put her in serious danger.
Did I? I think you're overreacting, Amy. Come on. She's alive and fine now, isn't she?
Well, let me sum it up for you, you dumb twat. First, you convinced a 10-year-old to learn to be independent by taking baths alone, cooking microwave meals alone. Second, you taught her to lie to me about you coming home early. Third, you made her go to the corner store all by herself at the risk of kidnap. And that was because you hadn't fed her properly at home, when you should have. And to think that you left a child at risk so you could go and cheat on me? No woman in their right mind would stay married to a man like that.
You're about to have another baby. I just wanted to have a little fun before the baby was born. This was a mistake, I admit it. I promise I won't do it again. Come on, Amy. Won't you forgive me just this one time?
This one time, huh? You might have starved for just this one time, but you left her alone in the house more than once. You can't leave a little girl in the house by herself, and especially at night. What if something really bad happened to her? What would you have done?
Something really bad? Like what? She knows to lock the doors at night. Nobody's gonna kidnap her or anything.
I taught her to never use the stove when adults aren't around, but there's still a chance she could have. What if she burned herself, or even set something on fire by accident? Or what if someone else found out that she was left in the house by herself? You think a locked door is going to stop a kidnapper? Or what if a neighbor found out and called the police? Did you even think about that?
Well, none of that happened, did it? There was actually a pretty low chance it would have happened. We live in a safe neighborhood. Come on.
I'm not talking about the chances of it happening. I'm saying the possibility is still there. We're her parents. We're supposed to protect her no matter what. That's our job. But you don't care about that, do you? I can't even imagine how you think that that's okay.
But people leave their kids at home alone at night anyway, right? Things like this happen all the time. Don't you think you're being a little overprotective?
I'm not talking about other people. The only reason why I decided to go back to my parents' house was because you promised that you'd come home early every day. But you took advantage of me not being there and went out to sleep with another girl. We don't need someone like you in our lives.
Amy, I'm sorry. I really messed up.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to Melody. I'll get back to you regarding our divorce.
Wait, I swear I won't cheat anymore, and I won't leave Melody at home alone anymore. Oh, please, just trust me. Oh, come on. We've been doing so well up until now. What's a little bump like this to us, huh? We can get over it, right?
You just proved to me that I can't trust you anymore. You've completely betrayed my trust. We spent years building this family and relationship, and you just destroyed all of it. All you care about is yourself. I can't trust you to take care of my children anymore. Goodbye. After that, Eric drove all the way to my parents' house where I was staying with Melody. He went down on his hands and knees and begged for us to forgive him. Of course, none of us did, not even Melody, although I could tell that she felt bad for her daddy feeling upset, but still, I wasn't going to let her feel sorry for him. We checked his phone after to find out some hard truths. It turns out he's been on dating apps and lying about being married to me ever since I got pregnant with our second baby. So he's been cheating on me much longer than I thought, almost for 9 months. How pathetic. I just lost the last bit of empathy I had for that man, and I feel nothing for him now. He kept begging me not to divorce him up until the very last second, but I ignored him. Shortly after that day, I went into labor and I safely gave birth to a baby girl. So Melody will have a little sister to take care of now. Once the divorce has settled and I get child support for both of my babies, I'm considering to move out of my parents' place and get our own little house somewhere in the suburbs. I allow him to see Melody and the baby once a month, but sometimes Melody doesn't even want to see him, which is great for me. I thought Melody would be really sad about the divorce, but it seems that she's old enough to understand that he did a really bad thing. I've been trying to spend as much time with her so I can make her feel better too. I promise to never make my children feel sad or lonely ever again, and I'll do whatever it takes to give them the love and care that they need for the rest of my life. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe for more.